Law of Noncontradiction. One afternoon, a philosophy student named Arjun was sitting in the university library working on a logic assignment. His professor had asked the class to analyze simple statements and determine whether they were logically consistent. Arjun wrote down a statement on his notebook. "The door is open." Then he wrote another statement. "The door is not open." He stared at the two sentences for a moment and wondered, can both of these be true at the same time? To test the idea, he imagined a real door in front of him. If the door was open, then it could not be closed at that exact moment, and if the door was closed, it could not be open at the same time in the same situation. Later in class, Arjun discussed this with his professor. The professor explained that this simple observation represents one of the most fundamental principles in logic and philosophy. The law of non-contradiction states that a statement and its opposite cannot both be true at the same time and in the same sense. In other words, something cannot both be and not be simultaneously under the same conditions. This idea was clearly described by the ancient Greek philosopher Aristotle, who considered it one of the most basic laws of logical thinking. The professor gave another example. If someone says, "This light is on," and at the same moment says, "This light is not on," both statements cannot be true together about the same light in the same situation. If contradictions were allowed to be true at the same time, reasoning would break down completely because any statement could then be both true and false. Arjun realized that this simple rule was quietly supporting almost every form of reasoning: science, mathematics, debate, and everyday decision-making. Without it, logical thinking would become impossible. That fundamental principle of logic, that a statement and its negation cannot both be true at the same time, is known as the law of non-contradiction. A statement and its opposite cannot both be true at the same time under the same conditions. This basic principle of logical thinking is called the law of non-contradiction, and it forms a foundation for reasoning in philosophy, science, and mathematics.